to The Explainer. Today we're diving into the story of a true pioneer, a man who completely understood the power of the printed word to awaken an entire society. And get this, in just 34 years, he laid the entire foundation for modern journalism in Western India. This is the incredible story of Balshastri Jambhekar. Okay, so here's our game plan. We'll start with who Jambhekar was, then dig into his mission, take a close look at his game-changing newspaper, see how he went way beyond just journalism, and finally, really wrap our heads around the massive legacy he built in such a short time. All right, first things first. Let's meet the man behind this monumental title. I mean, think about that title, the father of a field. That's huge, right? It means you weren't just the first. It means you created the blueprint that everyone else follows. So what kind of vision, what kind of actions does it take for someone to earn that? So this is our guy. Born way back in 1812, he was a brilliant scholar and a true visionary. His work during the early days of British rule literally built the foundation for modern journalism as we know it in Western India. Now, to really get what he did, you have to understand the world he was living in. See, every great innovator is basically responding to a problem, and the problem Jambhekar saw was a massive one. So picture this. It's the early 19th century in India. The British are in charge. Society is in this massive state of flux, old ways are being questioned, and a totally new power structure is in place. And information? Well, that was tightly controlled. Public discussion was pretty limited. And here's the absolute core of his belief. He saw this direct, unbreakable link between knowledge and independence. He was absolutely convinced that you couldn't have real freedom without an informed public that was, well, awake. So he wasn't just reporting the news. No way. He was on a mission to completely re-engineer society. He wanted to use the press to wake people up, to swap superstition for a scientific outlook, to tackle tough social problems with logic, and, crucially, to open up a real dialogue between the Indian people and their British rulers. So he has this grand vision, but how do you make it happen? He needed a tool, a weapon really, for his mission. And since one didn't exist, he just went ahead and built it himself. Okay, so take a guess. How old do you think he was when he launched this whole revolutionary project? The answer is right there on the screen. Yep, 20. Just 20 years old. At an age when most of us are just trying to figure out our lives, he was starting a communication revolution. That fact alone tells you everything you need to know about the kind of genius we're talking about here. He named his newspaper Darpan, which means the mirror. And that name was perfect. It wasn't just a name, it was his mission statement. He wanted the paper to be a mirror that would reflect society back onto itself. The good, the bad, and everything that needed to change. And his strategy for this was just brilliant. The paper was bilingual, printed in 2 columns, side by side. The Marathi column was for the local people, to educate them, to inspire them. The English column was for the ruling British, to explain Indian viewpoints, to hold them accountable. It was literally a bridge between 2 worlds. And he did not play it safe. Not at all. He used Darpan to dive right into the most controversial topics of the day, especially the cause of widow remarriage. He wasn't just reporting, he was forcing a public conversation that would grow into a genuine movement for social reform. But you know, his vision was so much bigger than just one newspaper. He knew that for knowledge to really take root and grow, you need more than just one source. You need an entire ecosystem for learning. So, after he established Darpan, he launched Digdarshan, which was the first Marathi monthly magazine. It covered everything from science to history. And he didn't stop there. He started public libraries and these improvement societies, creating actual physical spaces for people to gather, learn, and debate. And the man himself, his personal skills were just mind-blowing. We're talking about a guy who mastered more than 8 languages, including Sanskrit, Greek, and French. He was the first Indian to publish research in the super prestigious Asiatic Society's journal. He was a professor, a scientist who directed an observatory, And he printed the first ever copy of the classic text, the Jnaneshwari. He wasn't just a journalist, he was a true Renaissance man. And this brings us to the most remarkable, and frankly, the most tragic part of his story, the unbelievable scale of what he achieved, all packed into such an incredibly short life. Just look at this timeline. He was born in 1812, he launches the first Marathi newspaper at age 20, and he's gone by age 34. He basically accomplished a lifetime's worth of revolutionary work in just over a decade. It's truly hard to fathom. And his legacy isn't some historical footnote. It is alive and well. Every single year, January 6th, the day Darpan first hit the streets, is celebrated as Journalist Day in Maharashtra. That's a lasting, living tribute to the man who started it all. And get this, over 50 years after his death, his genius was still the benchmark. A high court justice, trying to give the highest praise possible to another great intellectual, said that Jambhekar was perhaps the only person who could have been his equal. Wow. That's the kind of echo his short life left behind. So, what's the big takeaway? Balshastri Jambhekar created a mirror to help his society see itself clearly and rationally, because he believed that was the first essential step toward progress. And that leaves us with a final thought, a question for our own time. In an age with endless information flying at us, whose mirror are we looking into today? And what is it reflecting back at us?